So guys, I can't lie, today was a pretty uneventful day in the world of Apple, and obviously this channel relies on Apple news, and I really can't make a video about a new Hermes AirTags case that's apparently $700, and so of course I got my tinfoil hat out and basically came up with some crazy Apple theories that somewhat make sense. And well, today is one of them, and that is regarding a May event. Now yes, I know what you're thinking, we just saw the April event, what's all the fuss about a May event now? Well, of course, I like to look into the future of Apple, I discuss rumors and theories about future products, and so I do actually think there is a very small chance that maybe we could see a May event for the M1X iMac. So you might have picked up on the fact that a lot of announcements at the spring-loaded event, specifically the iMac, had no release date to be seen. In fact, on Apple's site, it simply says it will be available to buy in the second half of May. Now yes, I know there is a very high chance that these delays could be down to COVID and the production issues Apple's been facing, but that isn't very fun, and so let's theorize for a minute that Apple specifically is pushing back the iMac on purpose. Why would they do that? Well, I think that could be possibly because we are seeing a new M1X iMac towards the end of May. Now, of course, the question a lot of you guys might have is why? Why on earth is Apple doing this? Well, judging by the reaction to the new iMac, it's pretty clear to me that a lot of people clearly do not understand this is the base model, because one question I saw pretty frequently within the tech community is why does this have an M1 instead of the M1X? But I will be honest, Apple hasn't done a very good job at making this clear because, of course, this is just the iMac. There is no suffix, and that's actually pretty surprising to me because I assumed that maybe this new base iMac would be the iMac Air, because of course, Air is used for Apple's budget / more colorful lineup like the iPad Air and the MacBook Air. And especially considering how crazy thin this new iMac is, it actually would have made a lot of sense to call this the iMac Air. But anyways, coming back to my main point, I basically think there will be a bunch of people thinking this is the iMac for the year, and they'll go ahead and buy this, and then a few months later, they see the M1X iMac, possibly the one they wanted, and they're gonna be pretty mad. And by the way, I'm not referring to the average consumers in this scenario, I am referring to people in certain professions who obviously use more powerful iMacs and are not very tech savvy, and so they don't know this is the base model. They're gonna buy it thinking this is the iMac for the year, and then they're gonna get disappointed when they see the M1X version. And so maybe Apple predicts that this might be the case, and maybe they're pushing back the release of the iMac to the public purely because they do plan to release a more powerful M1X version that obviously will be built for those consumers needing a more powerful Mac. And by the way, this has actually happened before because you might remember with the iPad Air 4, Apple revealed that at the September event, but they did not release it to the public till the 23rd of October, and that was basically because Apple did not want anyone touching the A14 before the release of the new iPhones, and so they released the iPad Air to the public on the same day as the iPhone 12 series. And so much like the iPad, Apple's deliberately pushing back this iMac because they might be releasing an M1X version of the iMac pretty soon. Another reason this could be the case is that we have had the M1 chip for around 6 months now, and obviously M2 should be releasing at the end of the year, but that's the start of a new generation of chips, and I'm pretty sure the M2 will be a direct successor to the M1, and so basically that means the M2 will be built for the entry-level models, and so we need to see an M1X or an M1Z before the release of the M2 for the more powerful Macs, and so since October / November might be a little too late because we would see M2, it's very likely that we could see the new M1X chips launch around mid-year, which of course is around that May to June period. Now of course, the next question a lot of you guys might have is why can't Apple release the M1X at WWDC? Well, of course, I do think that could be the case too. In fact, it's more likely. But of course, WWDC is always a software-focused event. It's always been about showcasing software first, and then if Apple has any hardware to release, they occasionally release stuff, but that's not something we see every year. And obviously, last year's virtual WWDC was solely focused on the software, and so that could be the case this year too. It's either that, or maybe Apple only has time to cover the M1X MacBook Pros, which, by the way, John Prosser has said could release in the summer period, and so maybe Apple's plan is to release the M1X iMac in May, and then the M1X MacBook Pros at WWDC. In terms of other releases we could see at this theoretical May event, maybe we could see that new iPad mini, maybe AirPods 3, since both of them have been leaked quite extensively. We have seen a lot of images of these products, and so that indicates to me the release is pretty soon, and we could see them during this May event. Another wildcard could be Apple's mixed reality headset, and I say this because Mark Gurman did say a while back that we could see a live event in the next few months to showcase this new headset, and of course it would make sense that when the press and media are here for the headset, Apple could of course release a new iMac with the M1X chip, so of course media can cover them on the spot and pretty much experience the performance and power of M1X live. And finally, I do want to mention that we have had 3 events in a row before. For example, towards the end of 2020, we had the September, October, and November event. And so similar to that, we could see an event in April, May, and June. Obviously, guys, as I said at the beginning, this is a crazy theory that has a very small chance of happening, and so do bear that in mind. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think there is a likelihood that we could see an event in May? Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. For the latest Apple news and rumors, check out the video in the icon above about whether you should go for 8 gigs or 16 gigs on the 2021 iPad Pro. And on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya, peeps.